Hi everybody, my name is Felix. I am a holographic lightbody restructurer. This is something I've developed over the past 7 years, having come through quite extreme amounts of trauma, drug addiction, suicide, mental health disorders, and I've had to really kind of rebuild and rehabilitate my consciousness, my fields, my all levels of my being, and through that process it has resulted in holographic lightbody restructuring. During this process, when I was going through the deep reconstruction of my mind, the resonance with the divine came in very strongly, even before the dark night of the soul occurred, because there was a process of Kundalini activation which triggers psychosis symptoms if the body is imbalanced. This is the initiation of the higher sensory perception coming online, and when the fields are spinning too quickly, the trauma is triggered up to the surface to be seen, and that presents as a detachment from your reality with higher sensory perception flowing through, or intuitive psychic abilities flowing through, with no understanding, no awareness of what is going on. So during this process of deep healing, the download of the heart center came to me as to when I heal and process myself, the outcome will be a place where everybody can kind of tap into, learn about, and build upon their own abilities of healing. And the name of this was called the Heart Center. Holographic Lightbody Restructuring is looking at your multidimensional self. So you've got a physical form, but then beyond the physical, you've got 12 layers of matter that generate as information, as a structure that allows your manifest physical body to form from. And when we go through levels of distortion, levels of trauma, levels of fracturing of the consciousness, this creates ripples and imbalances within the layers of the light body. Restructuring the light body allows us to repair and heal layers of the structure of the light body to be able to allow the flows of your light to move in a more coherent, cohesive flow. The light body holds all of your information within it that is played out within your reality. It holds all of your genetic code, your inherent history, and we've got access to this through our own consciousness. It is coming into a remembrance of who we are to be able to access all levels of our being. It's very important for healing because when we deal with the traumas within the light body, it then replicates as balance within the physical body. It is the extension of the physical body, and in fact it's more of our truthful body than the physical. So the physical would be the densest manifestation of something that runs through a carbon crystalline matter, and then a pre-matter hydroplasmic liquid light template. So there are different degrees to the light body and different degrees to how we manifest into form. The very first level of that would be the liquid plasma. I'm going to explain what a session would look like with me and what people might experience. So whenever I get a client booking on my website, felixhyde.com, the information of the client has already created the soul contract with me to start working and healing, which then allows me access into their fields. It gives me the downloads of the information that is related to that client. And then we come together over a Zoom meeting, primarily on Zoom because my clients are all over the world. I can't really do everyone in my apartment. So when we sit in the Zoom meeting, your information is downloaded into my awareness. I then start running through the information with you and telling you what it is that I'm seeing, and then we apply healing lights, understanding, breaking down the binding of consciousness that is running in polarized belief systems or negative belief systems in order to unlock the consciousness, regain the life force from it and regain the power, which then stabilizes the flow of light through your body. Typically, when I work with clients in this way, I'm Sometimes they feel quite sleepy during the session, and this is because as the light and the code and the information that's coming in that's being taken from your subconscious, bringing up to the conscious mind, which is then getting them to understand it quite quickly, this is shifting them into a state of sleepiness because they haven't gained awareness of it yet. As I bring the awareness to you, you start to wake up from the trauma, and then it holds no anchor point. It cannot sustain if it's already been seen. So this changes the structure of your field, it changes the structure of your belief systems, and then radically moves the consciousness into a forward trajectory to realign in the pathway that is best for you. I've had a lot of feedback from clients after working with me. A lot of them have gone through quite drastic changes in their lives, even from just one session. When I work with them in this way, we open the doors to the future timelines for them to manifest into their physical reality. So we can imagine we're dealing with the past self to access the future self and bringing it together in the present. Now, when we get this understanding of these three terms, we're able to kind of jump in time to bring that future aligned self into the present. And this just unfolds the consciousness at a much more rapid pace, really. So it progresses evolutionary trajectories. And then along with that, the clients usually have a lot more higher sensory perception abilities. They have a lot stronger connection to source and the source field, including into their guardians, into their angelic realms, and into their Akashic fields and their genetic family history. This provides a stronger alignment to the information that's coming in, that's held within your own personal record chamber or your own Akashic field, to then be able to access and recall memory, which is the trajectory for the ascension point. This is what we're kind of doing, is remembering who we are in order to fulfill the prophecy and the evolution. Holographic is part of my language because we live in a holographic reality. When we understand light and reality, we can shift the perception of where we sit within it and where we stand within it. And this doesn't just work on a linear perspective, it actually works on a multidimensional perspective. And as we kind of start to understand the multidimensionality of life, our reality begins to shift and change quite drastically. And the access to different dimensional fields also begins to come in more fluently and easily. So when we kind of deal with our understanding of this, the projection of what we understand within us then projects without us, and then our realities ultimately change to fit that format. The visual component to that is the overlay to our reality can be projected as a hologram. And when we develop clairvoyant skills, when we develop our charges of light within our field, we then gain access to be able to see the hologram change in physical format. Everybody has this ability. Everybody has the access to it. It's just about changing your belief systems and training yourself to dip in and out of the resonance of your soul. The Kryst code is a reoccurring theme that's updating at the moment with the light body. The Kryst code holds the balance ratios and proportions of the organic divine template. Now, when we're looking at a Kryst code update, this corrects the light body from where we've gone through many layers of distortions, many layers of damage and inversions to our fields, which have then warped the light body to lose its ability to higher sensory perception, lose its ability to interdimensional travel. We're currently gaining this back, and the Kryst code is the key for us to move forwards with that. The term multidimensionality is very important to understand because we are multidimensional beings. So within different dimensions, we hold a different state of mind, and within that different state of mind, it can do different things. So when we're looking at the third dimensional framework, we're looking at a polarized belief system. We're looking at a this or that type of consciousness, and it can be one thing or another. When we step up into the fourth, we're looking at compartmentalization. We're looking at working through truth and understanding it. And then we're also looking at the abilities of that mind, which is a bilocational concept where we can be in two places at once within our body, within our mind. When we're looking at the fourth dimensional mind from a healing perspective, we're looking at uncovering truths. We are restructuring the third dimensional mind, which is a polarized set of belief systems, and working it through to understand it. And as we understand it, we can then categorize it into different sections, different beliefs, which then compartmentalize the understanding. And then as we jump up into fifth, we then start to unify everything all together. Now, we're going from third, separation, fourth, understanding, fifth, unification. And when we are unified, we become one with the universe. We become one with the all. For someone who is curious about this healing, what I would say is listen to your urges, listen to your thoughts, and if you repeatedly receive the urge or the feeling or the drive to go in and book a session or to feel into a session, this is your guidance telling you that this is the next step. And this will be the same with every other person as well you're working with. If you're feeling the kind of urge to kind of go for this job or go for a kind of, an example would be maybe like going out and treating yourself to something, maybe you're in need of something, your consciousness is needing something to fulfill it. So the urges and the driving force is the guidance telling you this is what's right for you. The resistance that you may be feeling around it is the fear that's triggered up behind it that's trying to say, no, don't do it, right? How my work differs from other people's work is that it has been 7 years that I have worked to uncover my own fields and work in a very different way from anyone else. And that's not to discredit at all. Everybody has their own pathway and everyone has a unique gift to give. And this is my gift to you that I've learned through my own journey of self-healing. And because I had no money at the time, I had no money and no know-how of how to do things. I just had to sit there and meditate and hope for the best. And this is what has kind of come out of it. And that has been my ability to give to other people. For other healers, usually when we're looking at other healers, we can bring it into a kind of demographic of just Reiki healing or angelic Reiki healing. They are surrendering life force to move through them and move into the body to clear the chakra system. I go into the chakra system, I go into your fields, start pulling up the information, looking at it, changing the perspectives of it. We look at it from a holographic perspective where we can move around it in a like a model. And through this process, we can understand it from so many different angles. We can take it up the dimensional scale and look back down on it. We can go underneath it. We can look up through it. And this changes the understanding. And through that process, the mind is being able to repeatedly integrate, and this updates your morphogenetic fields, gets sent back out, and it clears the history behind it.